So we all have a lot of orthopedic assessments for rotator cuff problems or any kind of pain that they're having at the shoulder. This is a general shotgun routine that I use every time somebody comes in with any kind of shoulder problems. I just want to generally see what's going on with the shoulder before I move on to be more specific. So here's what I do. I start by checking internal neutral rotation. Put Tim's arm behind the back somewhere. If people can't put their arm behind their back, let it come all the way up to the side, but you've got to have a counterforce here. So my right hand goes on the back of the elbow here. My right hand braces here. Can you picture how this is internally rotating this humeral head? Neutral internal humeral rotation. I'm going to get my body nice, and now I'm going to ask you to push your elbow back toward me. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. He has a little restriction here. I was looking at it a minute ago, so we're going to work it. Again, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. I love this technique. It actually feels good. Doesn't it feel pretty good? Mm-hmm. Back again. He didn't have a choice. I can really hurt him here if he doesn't say yes. Feels great, Eric. Okay, relax. Perfect. Okay, so external humeral rotation. A lot of ways to do this. We're going to come in, brace the shoulder here, and just bring it into internal rotation to its first barrier, which is right there. He doesn't quite have full range. Okay, so now push your arm forward like that against my resistance. 2, perfect. 3, 4, 5, and relax. Now bring it back to the next restrictive barrier, barely bringing it back. Again, forward, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Barely bringing it back till he gets all the way up here. On some people, they won't get up here. Don't worry about it. Just do it 3 times and take what the body gives you and come back to it next session. All right. So internal rotation, external rotation, and abduction. We know that there are 10 motions at the glenohumeral joint, most complex or most mobile joint in the body, but we don't need to know all those 10. We just are going to do the 3, and that is internal rotation, external rotation, arm abduction. So here's how I do arm abduction, and I'm still trying to focus on one of the biggest problems that happens in any kind of shoulder problems is that we have this humeral head jacked up into the top part of the glenoid fossa. So what does that mean? That means you're sitting at a desk and you're tense, your boss comes up, you shrug those shoulders. It causes the traps and all this fascial line down here to pull the humerus up in here. We call that a deltoid shear because the deltoids are really responsible for jacking that up in the top part of the capsule. Then what? Well, you start to raise your arm, and then the acromion process here, remember, supraspinatus runs it right under here and attaches to the tubercle over here, along with the 2 other of the rotator cuff muscles. And you get a little bit of tendinosis. Supraspinatus tendinosis, 80 to 85% of the people that come in with shoulder problems, it's some sort of impingement under the acromion. So we want to drop the humeral head down in the part of the glenoid fossa in order to create space and keep that from bumping up and fraying against the acromion process. First thing I'm going to do is just a simple decompression technique. So I'm going to take the hand, always work on webbing your hand. The web is the most valuable tool you can have in so many bodywork techniques. Coming in, and I'm on humerus. I'm not up here on the acromion, not anywhere like that. Down there. Adjust your body weight so that you're really feeling good. Notice how extended hand here. Now I'm going to ask Tim to gently pull his elbow toward his knees. 2, perfect. 3, he doesn't overpower me. 4, 5. When he relaxes, I'm bringing it into more abduction and also dropping that humeral head down. If I feel any guarding or I feel him jerky, I come back off and go back to that barrier and work on that barrier. Do not bulldoze the restrictive barrier. Again, pull, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Now I'm going to jostle that joint. Okay, so that gets it in. Just dropping it down in a single plane, but that's not going to completely cut it. Here's how you got to do this setup. You come in with your right arm and cross over. Right? This is hard in class. I see some funky things going on in class. Then you have to come back around and hook little fingers. So here's the setup one more time. Through, over, and hook. Now you've got them into internal rotation, external rotation, arm abduction. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. And that's what you got to do with the glenohumeral joint. Bunch of fun things because it's got so much mobility in there. Now you come back in with your left hand webbing at the proximal humeral head. Body weight drops down, and this is the thing where you're constantly using your body. As I step to my left foot, I bring the arm into external rotation and I drive this down at the same time. So this is rhythmically what it looks like. Nothing, something. Nothing, something. I'm driving that head down gently at the client-patient's restrictive barrier. It's also kind of working on the on that attachment there at the greater tubercle. To finish this thing off, I'm going to have Tim just put his hand against his body. I'm going to come behind and I'm just going to scrub up. Still thinking, I want to release that tissue that's jacking the humeral head up into the top part of the glenoid fossa. Notice when I get up here to the greater tubercle, I'm not going to get my little grimy thumbs in there and make them hurt. I'm going to use the forearm, a nice broad thing, and I'm going to rock and roll around it gently, just real gently around that thing. Just like that. Gently, gently, gently. Scrub up and rock and roll around that tubercle. All different directions. Get some of that scar tissue off there. It's much more pleasant for the person than getting in there and trying to do it with your thumbs.